You ever get woken up at 5 a.m. by someone pounding on your gate screaming about a gazebo emergency and just know deep in your bones your day's about to turn into a reality show? Yeah, me neither, until that morning. I learned two things fast. One, I can go from REM sleep to court-ready petty in under 30 seconds. And two, I really, really hate being woken up by people who think my property is theirs if they ask loud enough. Let me back up a second. I live in one of those perfectly planned neighborhoods where every mailbox looks like it came off the same assembly line, and the HOA acts like it's running its own private country. When I bought this house, I thought HOA meant don't park a boat on the lawn and maybe pick up after your dog. That was cute looking back. Turns out it's basically Survivor Suburban Edition. The games, the alliances, the tribal council, it's all there minus Jeff Probst and immunity idols. My backyard butts up against this little stretch of common green with a walking path where people nod politely at each other, but also judge your Halloween decorations. My property line is clear as day. Survey stakes a fence, and right in the middle of it, my pride and joy, a wooden gazebo I saved up for, stained with my own hands, and wrapped in solar lights that make it glow like a fairy tale at night. I did all the homework, city permit, double-checked the HOA rules, even measured twice to make sure I was inside my own lot. Below a certain height behind the rear building line, no pre-approval needed. I was golden. Well, except Marlene HOA. President, professional squint, pastel cardigans, year-round clipboard surgically attached to her hand. She didn't see it that way. First thing she ever said to me before she even knew my name was to hand me a printout of common violations and ask what I did for work. I'm a paralegal, I said. She made this face like I just told her I do tax audits for the IRS. I should have known then. So when the gazebo went up there, she was watching the installers like they were dumping hazardous waste. 2 days later, I get a violation letter, unapproved structure on common property. Nice try, Marlene. I drafted a polite but ironclad response survey city permit, highlighted HOA guidelines. Hand-delivered and certified mail, because if you're going to be that person, you might as well lean in. Never heard back, never got a fine. I figured I'd won quietly, and that was that. But then there's Lissy. 3 doors down, pure energy, always hun this and sweetie that, never less than 3 exclamation points in a text. She's planning her wedding big enough to need extra space, not quite big enough to afford it. Hey neighbor, she says, bouncing up my driveway in leggings and a future Mrs. shirt. She wants to use the gazebo for sunrise wedding photos, maybe let guests wait there before the shuttle comes. Ceremony starts at 8 a.m., so it'd just be from like 5 to 7:30 in the morning. I try to be gracious. I'm happy for you, but that's my private backyard. 30 people at dawn, I work from home, I need my quiet time. And honestly, I'm just not comfortable with it. Her face tightens, but she shrugs it off. The HOA said it's part of the shared aesthetic, so it made sense guests would wait there. But you know, they said to ask you first, like that's supposed to win me over. So I tell her again, gently but firmly, it's my property. Not happening. Her smile vanishes, and now I'm the villain in her wedding story. That night, the HOA emails me, generic cold dear homeowner, accusing me of refusing to support a community event, warning that it might impact future approvals. Shared aesthetic, my left foot. I send back a formal response. Gazebo is on my private lot survey. Attached, any attempt to use it without my consent will be treated as trespassing. I CC the management company. Petty wars commence. Suddenly, I'm drowning in violation letters, trash cans visible for 15 minutes, front lawn, edging uneven car parked too long even though I drive every day. I respond to every single one with time-stamped photos and quotes from the covenants cool as ice. Some neighbors get dragged in 2 garden tools in the wrong place, flag 2 big toys in the driveway. Marlene and her sidekick Ronnie start holding court in front of Lissy's house, throwing me dirty looks when I walk by. A week before the wedding, I get a courtesy notice that the board will revisit the appropriateness of my gazebo at the next meeting. Into the binder it goes. I know the rules better than they do. I know they're bluffing. What I didn't know was how far they'd go to push their luck. Wedding morning, 4-something a.m. I'm basically a human houseplant trying to pretend I don't hear car doors slamming. Then my gate rattles hard. My dog Moxie, all 30 pounds of ferocious mutt, explodes into a bark. Adrenaline surges. I throw on a robe, grab my phone, and peek through the blinds. The path is packed, people in suits and dresses, a white shuttle van idling, and a dude in a suit yanking on my gate. Backyard's locked, he whines. Marlene said this was community seating. I cracked the door. Can I help you? We need the gazebo, Marlene said. It's fine. No, it's my backyard. Please step away from my gate. Cue laughter, eye rolls, exasperated sighs. Lissy's voice somewhere panicked. Is she opening up? The guy tries appealing to my humanity. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Sorry, buddy, not my circus. Then Marlene herself shows up, marching down the path in a quilted coat clipboard at the ready. Open the gate, she orders, like she's Moses, and I'm the Red Sea. No, I reply, voice flat. You're being unreasonable, she huffs, and you're trespassing, I shoot back. You keep saying shared aesthetic like it's a legal term. It isn't. Property lines 5 feet past the gazebo. Surveys on file. Lissy tries one more time, all puppy eyes. Please, it's my wedding. I say no. Marlene's face goes red. You're harassing us. This is grounds for fines and possible legal action. Something in me clicks cold, calm deposition mode. Try it. And if anyone climbs that fence or forces entry, I will call the police and report trespass. I close the door lock. It stand there shaking with adrenaline. Outside voices get louder. The gate rattles again and then, yep, you guessed it. Marlene announces she's calling the police. I roll my eyes, make coffee, and prepare my documents. When the sirens roll up, I just about lose it. 2 patrol cars, lights flashing, neighbors gawking out their windows. Cops walk up, tired but professional. We got a call about a disturbance about you refusing access to a community structure. Deep breath. I walk them through the whole mess, show the Survey City permit emails, every I dotted and T crossed. The older cop nods. You're a paralegal, right? Yep, thought so. They ask about trespassing. I confirm 30-plus strangers at 5 a.m. is not in the cards. They escort me to the gate. Marlene launches into her speech. This homeowner is refusing to allow use of a community structure. The officer holds up a hand. We've reviewed the survey and permit this gazebo is on her lot. It's private property. You called 911 over a property dispute. That's not what emergency services are for. Marlene tries to argue, but it's a community event. She's being uncooperative. The younger cop deadpans, calling 911 because someone said they'd call the police on you is not how this works, ma'am. Lissy's mortified guests are shuffling their feet. Someone mutters, this is messed up, but everyone starts backing away from my fence. The cops warn the crowd if anyone tries to climb or force entry, it's trespassing and they'll support charges. As the patrol cars idle, the neighborhood show packs up guests to the clubhouse or their cars. Marlene glaring daggers, Lissy looking heartbroken. I go inside, collapse at my kitchen table. Moxie hops into my lap and I just sit there running through what the hell just happened. They called 911 because I wouldn't hand over my gazebo for a wedding. You can't make this stuff up. But if you think it ended there, nah, Marlene doesn't do backing down. The wedding went on and I stayed out of sight, but that morning kicked off something bigger. First, I wrote everything down, times, names, details. Saved all the camera footage, doorbell, and backyard. Then I drove down to the police station, politely requested the incident report, and 911 audio, filed a complaint for misuse of emergency services. Officer Ramos at the desk just blinked at me. You're kidding, right? Nope, not even a little. Next step, the HOA. Our state's got pretty solid laws. Boards have to be transparent with records, budgets, minutes, all that jazz. I sent a formal request for the last 3 years' worth budgets, minutes, payments, violation logs, and anything about 911 calls. Certified mail, naturally. And as the days ticked by, the neighborhood grapevine lit up. People talk, especially when they get woken up at dawn by flashing lights. That's when Connie, retired teacher across the street, shows up. You really rattled Marlene's cage. She grins. Turns out Marlene's been running the place like her own kingdom for years, calling cops on the Gonzalez kids for loitering, aka playing tag with glow sticks, writing up bogus fines, towing cars without warning. Connie's got it all, dates, names, everything in a battered spiral notebook. She hands it over like she's been waiting for someone to ask. Aaron joins us. Works nights, got violation letters for blackout curtains, which came with the house and porch light too bright. We start connecting dots. Anyone who pushes back gets buried in citations, while Marlene's friends do whatever they want. I tell them about my records request. When it comes in, I'll need help. Aaron grins. Spreadsheets are my love language. That's plot twist 1, the neighborhood waking up. Plot twist 2 shows up with banana bread. Lissy, face still raw from wedding stress, asks to talk. I'm sorry, she blurts out for everything. I didn't know Marlene was going to call 911. She's embarrassed, regretful, tells me Marlene promised to handle it. Insisted the gazebo was community property, even wrote it in emails. I ask for those emails, Lissy forwards the whole thread. They're damning. Marlene knew she was bluffing, knew it was my property, and tried to strong-arm me anyway. When the HOA's records finally show up, 3 boxes worth, it's like striking oil. Double-paid landscaping contracts to a board member's cousin. Reimbursements for community improvement with 0 receipts. Petty violations stacked on any house that pushed back. And tucked in the incident log, Marlene's 911 call claiming I was unstable, escalating, and might set my aggressive dog on guests. Moxie, who weighs 30 pounds, and spent the whole time snoring under my feet. That call earns Marlene a formal citation for abusing emergency services and a warning from the city attorney. Our mountain of evidence gets us a special HOA meeting. The place is packed, neighbors fed up, stories to tell. We vote to recall the board. Connie's the new president, Aaron's treasurer, I'm secretary. We freeze the spending, bring in an outside CPA, hire an HOA attorney. The audit, conflicts of interest everywhere. Undocumented improvements. Money missing. Marlene and Ronnie end up paying a chunk back and are banned from serving again. Marlene moves out a month later, no goodbye party. Now the HOA is well boring. Newsletters are about mulch, not threats. Fines only happen for actual issues, not revenge. My gazebo is just my gazebo. Sometimes neighbors stop by and chat, kids ride scooters on the green, nobody rattles my gate at dawn or calls my yard community seating. And when someone wants to come over, they knock, they ask. And my no is finally respected. So tell me, was I right to stand my ground, or should I have caved for the sake of neighborly cooperation? When does a line in the grass actually mean something? Drop your stories, thoughts, whatever below. Let's talk about what community's supposed to mean. Because after all that, I'd say sometimes standing up for your patch of grass is how you protect the whole neighborhood.